What if celebrating Christmas was a crime? No carols, no feasts, no mince pies, just fear, silence, and the sound of boots outside your door. In the middle of a freezing December, a mother hides a pie under a cloth. Children whisper around a dying fire. Outside, soldiers patrol the streets, searching not for thieves, but for anyone daring to celebrate the birth of Christ. This isn't a story from fiction. It happened in England. The year was 1647. The English Civil War had torn the country apart, pitting King Charles I and his loyalists against Parliament's Puritan army, led by Oliver Cromwell. The Puritans claimed they were cleansing England of corruption, and that included what they saw as sinful festivities. Christmas to them was the worst of all. To most English people, it was a season of joy, feasting, singing, games, and drink. But to the Puritans, it was a pagan hangover from Rome's Saturnalia, a festival of indulgence, drunkenness, and idolatry. So Parliament issued a decree: no observation shall be had of the 5 and 20th of December, commonly called Christmas. In plain words, Christmas was banned. Churches were ordered to stay open as normal workdays, markets were to operate, and soldiers were given permission to raid any home or bakery showing signs of celebration. The traditional mince pie, spiced with cinnamon, cloves, and raisins, was suddenly labeled idolatrous. Even holly and ivy decorations were outlawed, called heathen remnants. To understand the ban, you have to understand the Puritans' world. They lived in fear that God's wrath might return if England strayed from strict biblical order. Christmas, they argued, wasn't mentioned in the Bible. Jesus' birth, said the ministers, was likely in spring, not December. The feast day was, in their eyes, an invention of popish priests, and therefore offensive to God. Many Puritan preachers held fiery sermons that month. One declared, "Men dishonor Christ more in the 12 days of Christmas than in all the 12 months besides." The holiday that once filled the air with bells and music was replaced by silence. Instead of nativity plays, people attended long, somber sermons. Instead of festive ale, there was fasting. The old Lord of Misrule, a clownish figure who led games and songs, was dismissed as a servant of the devil. But England's people were not made of quiet obedience. Centuries of tradition don't vanish with a law. In the town of Canterbury, December 1647, the mayor tried to enforce the ban. The people refused. They decorated the streets with holly, lit candles, and shouted, "God bless Christmas." By nightfall, thousands joined. Bells rang from the cathedral tower defiantly. When soldiers arrived to break the crowd, stones flew. The riot lasted for days. Other towns followed. In Norwich, Ipswich, and Bury St. Edmunds, bakers were arrested for making mince pies, and market sellers fined for selling Christmas plums. In London, crowds surrounded churches demanding a Christmas sermon. A pamphlet from 1652 complained bitterly, "The world turned upside down, no Christmas, no games, no hospitality." Yet behind closed doors, the old spirit of Yuletide refused to die. Families gathered in candlelight. They whispered prayers, sang carols softly, shared small secret meals. In some homes, a single holly sprig was hidden behind a curtain, a quiet symbol of defiance. Among those who defied the ban was John Evelyn, a loyal royalist and diarist. In 1652, he attended a secret Christmas mass in London. Soldiers broke in and arrested the priest. Evelyn wrote, "I saw him carried away as if he had murdered a man, for no crime but saying prayers for Christ's birth." In Cambridge, students risked expulsion for holding mock feasts in their dormitories. Even Puritan households began to bend, some mothers sneaking sweets to children in honor of Christ. There were myths, too, whispered tales that ghosts wandered on Christmas Eve, punishing those who refused to honor the sacred night. Others claimed that cattle melt in their stalls at midnight, remembering the manger. The Puritans wanted silence, but the old magic of Christmas still glowed beneath the ashes. By the early 1660s, Cromwell's rule collapsed. The monarchy returned under King Charles II, the Merry Monarch. One of his first acts was to restore the holidays. Christmas returned in all its glory, the bells, the feast, the laughter. But it came back changed. After 2 decades of bans, Christmas had become more than just a party. It was a symbol of freedom, loyalty, and faith. People celebrated not only Christ's birth, but their right to joy. It's said that in the first restored Christmas, even the Puritans' children joined the songs. The Puritan Christmas band didn't last, but its shadow lingered. When the Pilgrims sailed to America, they carried that strict view with them. And in Boston, Christmas remained illegal until 1681. Yet, ironically, it was England, the very place that once banned Christmas, that later gave the world Dickens. It's A Christmas Carol, a story about charity, spirit, and redemption, the very things Cromwell's laws tried to erase. Perhaps that's the greatest twist of all. You can silence the bells, extinguish the candles, and outlaw the feasts, but you can't outlaw joy, because Christmas, at its heart, is rebellion against the cold, a spark of light in the darkest time of year. So next time you eat a mince pie or hum a carol, remember, in the 1600s, that could have gotten you arrested. Would you have celebrated in secret, or bowed to the cold Puritan law?